After being decimated 3-0 in the opening matches of this best of 7, Symbol brought out a build that many of us have experienced on the 2v2 ladder and many of us have experienced whenever we do not expect it, and that's a baneling bust. Whenever the Zerg player cuts drones very early at about 20 to 30 and just makes straight ling, makes a baneling nest, keeps mining gas, and then out of your vision, right outside your natural, makes a bunch of banelings, blows down your door, and runs in with lings. And if you're making add-ons like Innovation was, you just don't have any units. And you just straight die to it because you're really relying on your bunker to defend you. And whenever the Akalon Waste game happened, game 3, I sort of pointed out like, there's that tiny little window where when you do a fast wall and have a bunker defending you, you're completely buttoned up against lings, but the one thing that the Zerg player can throw at you that early that you can die to is a big ling bane bust. But that's something that you have to commit completely to, and it's a complete all-in. But there are a lot of different variations of the bane bust, but what we saw there was the perfect sort of bane bust to do, because Symbol knows that when his innovation at the peak of his powers, whenever he gets those 6 Hellions out and his third finishes, and I don't mean in the game, because like if we're looking at power spikes in the game itself, it's like when he gets like 60 workers and Mule Hammers the third and the production finishes, that's when he gets scary in game. But I mean like innovation as a player, when is he at his best and most terrifying? Well, once those Hellions get out, it becomes really, really hard to kill him, as we saw in Game 3 versus Roro. Make sure you're checking out the previous games if you're not, because you really need to be watching these in order and liking each video to boot. So, Symbol said to himself, well, I'll just fucking attack before he even has a factory finish. And we saw that game, Innovation couldn't even defend because the attack hit so early that guess what? Innovation was still making his add-ons. He didn't have a single unit out, so he got hit in the mouth right when he didn't expect it, and that allowed Symbol to take the game. But we can see Innovation playing more safe. He's going CC first, but he's going CC first on the high ground, which means that if Symbol were to go early pool and try to cheese him out again, Innovation would be able to hold it with ease. But I am really curious as to how safe NO plays in general, because whenever you beat someone with a cheese and you've 6-pooled them once already in the series and you've done a big weird drop all in with Nidus to boot, the Terran player and the person that you're cheesing has to start asking themselves like, they're just gonna keep cheesing, aren't they? Because we saw how the macro game went in game 1. We see how the macro games go against Zerg players in this era, and with innovation specifically, no one was better at grinding the Zergs down in a macro game and looking untouchable in this era specifically. He was an absolute terror and really the best on the planet. And he was so terrifying because not only could you never really catch up to him in a macro game and get on his side of the map and attack him, he had the craziest cheese defense ever. And we saw 2 builds that interacted in a way that even Innovation was not going to be able to defend that cheese, just because of the nature of when it hit and the fact that the add-ons were being made. I mean, it's literally no units and no ability to produce. It doesn't matter how good your crisis management is. Innovation simply had nothing. So we'll see if Innovation tries to be more sly and maybe goes for a cheeky build, maybe gets a Banshee out, or if he's just going to do the tried and true, I'm going to make a fast third and get Hellions out. It's always this battle in a best of 7 or a best of 5 whenever you win game 1 in your signature style in a macro way, and the other player clearly tries to adjust to you and is trying to counter what you're doing. And does the pendulum shift back to you where you say, okay, now I need to adjust to what they're doing to counter me and maybe like play more aggressive or go for a cheese of my own? Or do I just stick to my guns and keep grinding them down with my macro play as you see a Roach Warren come down here for the player in the top right symbol. Very good Zerg player. But the Hellions are out, and the Zerg player scouts the fast third. And Innovation was always like this. Like, Innovation was not reactive at all in terms of what was going down in the series itself. He wasn't one of these guys who was going to change up his own play severely to try to counter what you were doing. It's like, oh, you cheesed? Okay, I'm going to go 3cc Hellion. Oh, you want a macro with me? Okay, well, I'm going to go 3cc Hellion. Oh, you're going to do a Bane bust because you want to hit before my factory finishes? Great, I'm going to go 3cc Hellion. You do a big roach all in? 3cc Hellion. They call it the innovation build for a reason, guys. It allows you to get into the economy so fast and so brutally. It just feels like if you're a Zerg player, if you want to catch them off guard, it's going to be with something like this, like with the Roach Bane. Because if you might say, well, if the Ling Bane worked, then why not do it again? Part of why the Ling Bane worked is they were on close positions Red City. This is the standard macro map, the map that's been played a trillion times, Daybreak. Out of all the maps in StarCraft 2 history, this one probably has the most matches played. Innovation knows the timings, knows the spots, and notice that he scouted the all-in right out the gate. The Banes didn't morph in Fog of War without him seeing. But this is a similar conundrum, where Innovation scouts the all-in and he has only Hellions, so again, the Zerg player trying to cheese does not want to try to play Innovation in a macro game. Innovation retreats with his Hellions. Notice that the Zerg player very intelligently positioned his Roaches in such a way where the Hellions couldn't cut off the Lings. So Innovation needs to try to focus fire the Banes here with the Hellions, and the Banes are running in and they blow the bunker down. And some of the Hellions die, but Innovation retreats, trying to take pot shots at the Banes, loses quite a few workers, pure attacking units in the production tab for the Zerg. Marauder on the high ground has a lot more productions coming out for Inno, and this is a very tricky defense as Innovation plummets beneath the Zerg in workers, and he's getting every little cent of worth he can out of those Hellions, and these Marauders on the high ground are going to be what it takes to kill the Roaches. Marauders, of course, do bonus damage to armor units, and holy crap, all the Banes die, so as long as all the Lings don't get in here, Innovation can still hold, but a lot of the Lings run up, and Innovation running back to a bunker. This is so razor's edge, so close, as Lings do get in, as barely the front door was knocked down, but a backup bunker is there, as holy crap, look at this beautiful SimCity from Innovation with these two bunkers covering both sides, and the barracks acting as sort of a funnel, and the bunker takes maximum damage and then is evacuated, and the other bunker dies. A Widow Mine is out, it goes down, it doesn't hit very much, and a lot of mules being dropped here. Remember, 3cc, the crux of the Terran's defense. If Innovation can come back, it's going to be off of this 3cc, but Ling Roach screaming in, and Inno loses again. So Symbol breaking out the cheddar here against Inno. He's trying to hit him at his power troughs. Last game, it was the pre-factory power trough. This game, it was the pre-third base landing all the mules and getting all those extra barracks up power trough. We literally saw the barracks coming up right as the Zerg player attacked. So Symbol knows what he needs to win. Innovation saying, damn it, he cheesed me again. You're in this situation where you don't really want to mule hammer your main right when that's happening, even though you have a lot of energy. And you don't even have the barracks to really spend the money anyway, but Symbol beautifully microed his Roaches to zone out the Hellions because you could tell Innovation knew it was going to be another Roach Bane bust. He knows how to counter that. He's seen it a million times. Couldn't take pot shots, and now we're going into the next game. Make sure you sub for more and turn the bell on. You don't want to miss it.